Straight Talk Politics again. So, here is the strategy from the Trump administration, the Trump transition team. America is great again. Before we get into the details, I say please press the like button, share this content with your friends, subscribe, press the notify button so when I post new videos, you will be notified. I'm willing to work with other people. I'm going to start putting up slides to that effect, saying reach out to me in the comment section. But I'd like to increase this from the current staffing of me, and I'd like to have other people appear. I'd like to set up and do some interviews. I'd like to try and make some connections and alliances with other podcasts. All right, let's go. Donald Trump has decided America is great again merely by electing him. Yeah, that's actually true. The strategy seems to be America is great again because I got elected. America is not great because I wasn't in office, because the election was stolen from me in 2020. It's hard to believe this is actually a strategy, but it appears to be. No work actually needs to be done. No legislation needs to be passed. America is already great again. Why? Remember last slide, because we elected Donald Trump. And here's the plan, the playbook. Number one, take credit for the booming stock market. Don't dwell too much on the fact that the stability and the sanity provided by Joe Biden's leadership helped the stock market grow. Just talk about the inflation was bad, now it's better. Oh, that's another point, but just take credit for the booming stock market. It's going up, and it was at record levels on November 5th, and it's gone up some more. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and the value of his company is going up because people think he's going to be like the co-president. He can't actually be president because he's not an American citizen born native to the U.S. So, but Mr. Trump would like to, Uncle Donald would like to tap into some of that money. Number two, take credit for the economic growth. Okay, economic growth is over 3%. Trump promised us 4% during the first term, never actually met that goal. But hey, the economy's growing. It was all my policies. The economy is growing at 3% now, in spite of how incompetent and bad Joe Biden was. Joe Biden was a complete idiot, right? He had no powers. Everything he did was wrong. Everything he did hurt the economy. But now I'm in charge, so I made the economy better. The economy that happened the last 4 years was all due to me, Donald Trump. What I did to get out of the pandemic recession. Okay, that's cool. I don't buy that, but I mean, it's a reasonable strategy in the current United States. Sure, let's go for it. Take credit for inflation being below 3%. Oh yeah. Although the inflation problem was actually sparked by the last stimulus plan that was approved by Congress and signed by Biden in 2021, there was too much money and not enough supply chain for that money to chase. Inflation is definitely all Biden's fault. Actually, it's a joint thing. The inflation went from 3% to 9% because of the Biden policy, but the economy was already overheating and stoked by the time Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. But okay, inflation is down below 3%, and inflation is going to be below 2% because the Federal Reserve is not dropping interest rates fast enough to remediate the drag on the economy of the fact that the interest rates are so high. So, hey, anything as good is I did it. I created it because I was secretly actually in charge after losing the 2020 election. I was the puppeteer managing the strings of everything that was good and that happened that was favorable to the United States. I did that from behind the stage because I was really the president. But if I was really the president, then I shouldn't be able to serve another term, right? So, okay, that's too confusing. Let's forget it. Let's forget about that. Oh, let's pass some tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires because we need to transfer some wealth from the middle class to Elon Musk and all his buddies. Raise tariffs and hope that inflation is not so bad. Yeah, that's going to be scary, but maybe he's not going to have to actually raise tariffs. Maybe it's the threat of raising tariffs, and that might be a good negotiating tactic. I give him credit for that, but raising tariffs could trigger a trade war. That would not be good. Take credit for the May 2024 drop in illegal immigration. Biden's belated crackdown. Yeah, well, the immigration numbers are so low, you can't say you can't stand up and say we're going to cut them another 85%. I guess you can take item 7A and say and start deporting between 11 and 20 million people, but I think that might cause some economic disruption. I think we're not really wanting to do that, and that wall that Mexico is going to pay for, it's still not up. I'm a little confused here. Okay, that's okay. Let's see the next point. Declare migrants transiting Mexico, problem is solved. This actually is pretty interesting because there was some interaction between the incoming Trump administration and the New Mexican administration, and steps have been taken to close the border, the southern border of Mexico, to migrants coming in from areas south. And realistically, you can give the Trump bombastic strategy some credit for this happening. Mexico wanted to avoid a trade war. Mexico wanted to make some concessions to Donald Trump, and they managed to do it. And it's actually a positive. The problem that we're running into is if you stop immigration too much, there's the 100,000 equals 0.1% GDP growth idea. What that is every 100,000 migrants raises GDP growth by 0.1%. They come in, they buy cars, they rent housing, they spend money, and that boosts the economy. And if you're going to turn around and create a labor shortage by deporting between 11 and 20 million people, that's going to cause some issues. But maybe he's going to find a way to make people believe through sleight of hand that lots of migrants are being rounded up and kicked out of the country, and maybe there'll be some smoke and mirrors about that, and we won't cause a complete labor shortage by throwing 20 million people out of the country. Let's see. I didn't say it was a good plan. It's just this is the plan. So are people just going to believe these declarations? America's great again. The economy is great. The immigration problem is solved just because Donald Trump got elected. See the November 5th, 2024 election results. Probably yes, people will believe it. Enough people will believe it to get Trump into the White House. He's not going to get scooped up by the Hannibal Lecter crew and fed to the Silence of the Lambs or whatever. Yeah, I mean, America seems to want to believe this fiction, and that's kind of interesting. They didn't want to believe that the economy was recovered under Biden. They didn't want to believe that the inflation was better, and price of things was higher, and that hurt a lot of Americans. All right, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you like this video, please press like, share it with your friends, subscribe, notify. If you're interested in joining this team, reach out to me via the comments. We'll connect.